Hi, I'm Tricia Pimental, and I just returned from a journey through some of Northern Portugal's best-kept secrets as part of International Living's Hidden Places initiative. Most expats think of Lisbon, Porto, and the Algarve when considering Portugal, but I explored some escapes that were not well known and yet were quality of life exceptional. From the historic streets of Guimarães to the coastal charm of Esposende, to the cultural heartbeat of Santo Tirso, and the vibrant energy of Vila Nova de Famalicão. These places had it all. Want to know if they're ready for expats? Come along and find out. From the beautiful mountaintop of the Peña Mirador overlooking Guimarães. Guimarães is the capital of this Minho province, very historical, beautiful castle and a duke's palace that we'll be taking a look at. I'm just getting too excited about this, I'm sorry. This is one of the cities that we've been covering here on this tour of the northern Portuguese cities. And I'm coming to you, it is not even quite the end of February, and you can see what the weather is like. The inhabitants here, there's a population of about 154,000 here in Guimarães in the city. And they enjoy mild winters, as you can see, and the summers ranging from upwards to like the 70s, maybe 80-ish in the warmest months of July and August. I couldn't be happier here and covering it this way. We have plenty more to see. We've found the university and co-work spaces and restaurants and the beautiful historic district with the cobblestone streets. So you are in for a treat, just like we are.
A good place to start your visit in Guimarães is a walk along the ancient city wall. Beginning at the Ducal Palace, stroll along and you'll end up at the flower-filled Largo da República do Brasil, which faces the Baroque Santos Passos Church. Across the street are cafes and the Alberto Sampaio Museum, behind which a weekly market is set up. A short walk from the museum is the Praça de Santiago, busy day and night, offering many choices for a beverage, a meal, or just plain people watching. It's a place to greet the day, have your morning coffee, and later meet friends for lunch or dinner. We had a dinner here one night at O'Clock Restaurant, we and all the locals. Here's the Jardim Público de Alameda, another good spot to meet up with people or just spend a quiet afternoon reading in the sun on a bench by the fountain. Across from it, paved with famous inlaid stones, calçadas, is the 17th century Largo do Tural, considered the heart of the city and once the home of the livestock market. Facing it, established in 1953 on the 1,000-year anniversary of the city, is Cafe Milionário. On surrounding streets, you can shop for a variety of things, including baked goods, fishing and hunting gear, and even fresh meats from your local butcher. And here it is right here, the talho. As you walk through town, you'll find a number of reminders of King Afonso, the first king of Portugal, born here in Guimarães. Although, true to form for the Portuguese, who always love a good debate, some argue he was born in Viseu, another northern city. The castle is a popular site to visit any time of year. as is the Ducal Palace, which was modeled in the style of a French chateau. High above the city, reached by car or cable car, known as the Teleférico, is Mount Peña. This is a perfect place to hike, walk your dog, and enjoy nature. There are hotels here, a cafe and a restaurant, and sites to visit like the majestic Peña Sanctuary, as well as its signature boulders that look like the playthings of giants. But Peña is not the only large green space to enjoy in Guimarães. A wonderful place to spend an afternoon is the Parque da Cidade in town. Bike paths, walking paths, here it is on a Sunday in February. Across the way, you can see new condo construction underway. And real estate listings and store windows give a good idea of the market here, but you can also discover possibilities just walking around. This lovely home is on a tree-lined street very close to the castle. Across the road from the Espaço workplace we showed earlier, which is also a shopping mall, is this conveniently located gas station and just beyond one of the chain supermarkets here. And there's always the option of discount shopping for clothing and other items, or not so discount. As the original city wall states, Aqui nasceu Portugal. Here Portugal was born. It's a charming, low-key city where many tourists come and return. And what about you? What are you waiting for? Welcome to Esposende, a city of about 9,000 located on the coast of Portugal, roughly 32 miles north of Porto. Situated on the Cavalo River, which flows into the Atlantic here, the vibe in the city is low-key and feels very much like a small town. Famous for its wind, which makes it perfect for a number of sports like kite surfing, it may not be for everyone. But in 2012, I lived here for 6 months, and recently I returned to check it out for you. I started with coffee at a local cafe, and heading into town afterwards, I passed the municipal market, bustling with activity when open. If the flea market's going on outside, it's a great place to find a not-so-buried treasure. In town center at Largo Rodrigues Sampaio, there's a large sculpture called To the Men of the Sea, a tribute to Esposende's maritime history. There are restaurants and shops here, and at the far end, the Igreja Matriz, or Mother Church of Esposende. It's quiet in the wintertime, but the town center is busy in summer, when adventurers come to enjoy water sports, oceanside living, and cafe culture. Streets off the main plaza are charming, winding, and cobblestone. I strolled along and window shopped, actually street shopped, as goodies were available outside to peruse, before finding some real estate offerings in a storefront by the government building called the Câmara Municipal. I found a 5-bedroom oceanfront beauty for around 500,000 euros. Across from there, I stopped at the fountain at Largo Fonseca Lima and had a friendly chat with Corino, owner of Ex Praça, a must-visit restaurant on the square. Next, I was on my way to De Lilly for lunch. The special of the day was posted on the sandwich board outside. Less than $10 for soup, main course, and beverage. The tiny cafe with homemade food is filled with friendly locals and also offers many organic items like the wines in front of me here and jams and jellies. It was time to work off some calories. I had a few choices. One was a short drive to Vila Chá, a historic village set in a forest high above the city. When a festival is on, some of the best treats are the fried donuts known as malassadas or filhos. You may even encounter a former resident of the ancient town. But since I was supposed to be exercising and not eating sweets, I drove 10 minutes out of town and walked around Ophir, checking out the community calendar and the schedule for surfing lessons. Some of the residents in these high-rise condominiums are full-time, but many live here seasonally. It can get busy in summer at the Akshish Ophir Hotel across the street, but off-season, you can have the beach pretty much all to yourself. Remember, this was an overcast day in winter, not always quite so gray. But if you're more inclined to green spaces than the ocean blue, there's a golf option. On this day, I stopped in and spoke with Susana Costa and her colleague Gonçalo at Stella Golf, a 9-hole course, and learned it's open to the public or by membership. It's a peaceful setting, and I made a note to maybe take a lesson in the future. It was time for me to return to Esposende. The marina looked inviting, and so did the deck at Sky Valley Restaurant and Sushi Bar. I enjoyed a pre-dinner cocktail first, and then walked along the overlook of the tranquil Cavalu River, where I caught sight of kite surfers. My day ended with dinner at Aguapé, my favorite restaurant when we lived here because of their super tender filet mignon in an elegant sauce. Well, maybe those steak fries had something to do with it. And one of the best parts of living on the water here is the perfect visibility of the setting sun. This is what we saw 1 block from our condo. And speaking of our home, this cozy furnished 2-bedroom unit at the time only cost $650 a month, about 600 euros, and it had access to a common pool. So that's a look at Esposende. If you're a night owl or into clubbing or need an expat group around the corner, it's probably not for you, but again, Porto and all it offers is just a half hour to the south. All food for thought, and not a single calorie to worry about.
Today I'm here in Santo Tirso, about 15 miles away only from the very center of Portugal's second city of Porto. So we want to take a look at a smaller place, inland a little bit, and find out if it's a viable possibility for a more low-key place for expats to live. I'm right behind me here is the mosteiro, the monastery, dating from 978, and the town basically grew up around the monastery. And by 1845, there was the largest textile factory in all of Portugal, right around here, employing about 3,500 people. So this was really a thriving town even at that time. Now the population is about 67,000 in the region, but only about 14,000 in the city center, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. So right here, I'm on the river Ave, and there's not only the monastery here, but there's an urban beach and an urban park. And if you prefer just to really not be indoors and stay low-key, there are hot springs nearby too, caldas de sauna. So this is a place that seems to have a lot of good outdoor interest, and they have a hospital and a centro de saúde, a health center, private clinics, and some bus and train options too, not within the city, but to go to places like Porto and Guimarães and Vila Nova de Famalicão, which are some other cities we're going to be taking a look at. But right now, let's just take a look at this.
A walk near our hotel included, we passed by a local government building and a posting about free city Wi-Fi. The streets were pretty busy in a way. We saw some of these nice apartment buildings. I can imagine myself living in one of these, I think, to return to apartment living. And here, at the base of this one, happened to be a loge de cidadão, where you can renew residence permits and driver's licenses and stuff like that. There's about 800 of these offices around the country. And in a country steeped in history, you often come upon sites like this. This is a fountain as part of a gated quinta and vineyard. At the Riverwalk on the Ave River, the rushing water was both invigorating and calming. This park has so much to offer. They have football and other kinds of ball fields, pickleball, tennis, bike paths, tennis courts, and hiking, walking paths, an amphitheater. It's a lot. Down on this lower level, we strolled along and found a number of people out for their morning exercise, just like me. These pretty houses are typical of Portuguese construction, and just like the sidewalk stones, the calçadas. Also typical is the fact that cars are parked in both directions on the same side of the street. If the car fits, park it. Across the street here we entered the Park Dona Maria II, which is a pleasant, quiet, popular spot with the locals. And some of those locals included a trio of adorable geese. There's an aviary as well. There's also from here a great view of the Benedictine monastery, which you can also get from the Dona Francesinha restaurant. That restaurant not only has a tempting menu, but it's open much of the time, which is a great plus in a city where many places close mid-afternoon or on random days of the week. Back on the street, we quickly found another flowery green space, the Jardim de Largo Coronel Baptista Coelho. It's a mouthful. Where the monument to overseas heroes figures prominently. There's a number of these around the country. The shapes are different, but they're called the same thing, the Monument to Overseas Heroes, just commemorating Portuguese locals, natives, who have perished in like World War I or other wars. This area is bordered with shops and cafes, as you can see, including one where Michel serves up some of the best gelato this side of Rome. In addition to online searches, a good way to discover real estate offerings is on foot. I checked out a storefront on this street and found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for about $178,000. And then walking around this small shopping center, found another one. These real estate offices just seem to be around everywhere, frankly. I popped my head into the office of an immigration attorney, Doutora Ana Rita Machado, and when I asked her where her clients came from, she answered India, Pakistan, and Brazil mostly, confirming actually my suspicions about the lack of American expats in town. One of the nice parts about walking around like this is that you often come across mom and pop grocery stores. We found this one selling apples for 60 cents a pound and new potatoes for 70. So that's a brief look at Santo Tirso. It's affordable, pleasantly low-key, but you would have to have a conversational grip on the native tongue. Maybe not for everyone, but some have certainly found true love here.
Speaking to you today from Vila Nova de Famalicão. This town has been around, it's called Vila Nova, since 1205 when the king gave it its charter. And by 1985 it actually became a city. We are right here in the center. If you hear some noise in a little bit, there is a bus station here. They'll be coming in and out. It's not only a bus situation here, but they have direct train service from Famalicão to Braga, Guimarães, Coimbra, Lisbon, and the Algarve. If you're driving, it's situated between two major autostradas here, A3 and A7. So it's really a great location. There is a health center, there's a major hospital nearby, and we are going to take a look in a little bit at a local restaurant, and I'm about to meet with a real estate agent. We're going to find out what prices are like, what's the market like these days. This population of about 134,000 enjoys hot, dry summers and mild, wet winters. And today is a perfect day in late winter, early spring, and this is how I'm dressed. So let's get to it.
So let's take a walk around town. There are always pedestrians on the street here, but there's never a sense of being crowded. Traffic moves smoothly through roundabouts, which often are adorned with statues, flowers, or fountains. Bike paths for the bikers. And walls are adorned as well, not with graffiti, but with art, as you can see here on a local community building. Across the way is one of a number of high-rise condo units in the town, and this particular one, we're going to zoom in, has a unit for sale. Worried about buying? Don't be. I sat down with Famalicão Remax real estate agent Cristina Carvalho, who explained how it works. And our understanding, and I would check to see if it's still the same so that it would put English speakers at ease who don't know Portuguese, that when you sit down and you're going to sign the papers, by law, I think here in Portugal, there has to be someone who reads the
Yes.
Okay, in English to the person,
Yes.
so they know precisely.
In the fact, in the contract, we have to put in Portuguese for the sellers and the English for the buyers.
Okay.
And in the final deal,
Yes.
escritura,
Closing.
I don't know.
We call it closing. Yes.
Closing. They have to understand what mean in the papers.
Yes.
So if they don't understand, we have to pay to a tradutor,
Translator. Yes.
and
Muito bem.
certificado para then translate to them to understand,
So
for the lawyer accept to do the escritura.
Excellent. I found these listings on the street. A 3-bedroom, 3-bath home outside of city center, $323,000 now. And if you're feeling entrepreneurial, you might want to consider picking up a snack bar for under $20,000. This rental pricing seems average for the city. 2-bedroom, 2-bath for $1,350 US. And here's a 4+4. One of the nicest green spaces in Famalicão is the Parque da Devesa, their central park. Here's a restaurant above this pond, but people love to come and picnic here. It sits high above the city, obviously offering panoramic views Here's an amphitheater that they use for special events. Ideal for location for performances, both public and private. While the park doesn't have designated areas for sports, you can play around as you wish. There is a municipal sporting complex in the city itself, and it has programs for all ages and swimming pools, tennis courts, etc., available to residents at a reduced price. There's evidence of new construction all around. And all of this exploration can make you work up an appetite. A restaurant's daily special is often advertised outside. This one offers bread, soup, main course, beverage, which is beer, wine, or water, and coffee for $8.65. We opted to try out a restaurant called Rua Gourmet Cafe, located near the library. The pastries, which were visible from the windows, what got us in, but we were in for a big surprise, as I am a huge pizza fan.
There you go. Pizza in Portugal.
A lemon pie. Okay. And well, you're not filming me.
I am filming.
Right now? Okay. So, sayonara. You know, we would like two with the chocolate mousse.
One.
Oh, sorry. One. And the lemon pie. Yes. Excellent. And some of these chocolate little heart cookies. The corazon. Okay. That's two. Cuatro. So we finally finished having the pizza at Rua Gourmet and some dessert to go. This was a gift from Francisco, who is the owner from Bari, Italy, and it was an amazing experience. So, and we were speaking in English, in Portuguese, and
Even Italian.
who wants to pass behind you?
Oh, just go.
And again, the people are so kind here. I say this in practically every video. They don't want to intrude. They want to give you your space, and they want to give you their cookies.
From Rua Gourmet, we headed to Tentações Gourmet, Tentações being the Portuguese word for temptations. When we lived here 12 years ago, we frequented a little cafe for coffee and cake or wine and cheese. And the owners, Elsa and Paulo, also sold wine and some Portuguese-sourced food items. This enterprise grew immensely in the years since it began, changing locations, becoming a major retail store, offering wines, food items like meats and cheeses and olive oil. Look at Route 66. And gifts like artisanal soaps and specialty items. So it's really become an amazing place for the locals to pick up special things. There I am visiting with Elsa and Paulo, catching up on what's been going on over the years. Have a look. In terms of more basic everyday shopping, you have a number of supermarkets in Famalicão, like the discounted Lidl, and often you'll find apartment buildings right nearby. People love to come out, walk down, do their shopping. We're going to take a look inside, a very privileged look, because this is not done here at Auchan, one of the French chains. Bem-vindo, they're telling you welcome. And inside here, these large supermarkets, which are kind of like Walmarts in fact, always have these extra little stores, boutiques. Celero that's here is an organic, they call it bio there, store, a little, kind of like a specialized Whole Foods type idea with lots of variety, vitamins and all. And you can see there's all these different types of boutiques and services. Sometimes you'll find a locksmith. Here's a dry cleaners. Occasionally they'll have a little kiosk where you can do your mail. So a mini official government authorized post office right outside these, where the cashiers would be here. Again, this is just not, you can't even take normally a selfie inside here. So this is a look that no one really gets at shopping centers in Portugal. These large supermarkets, which are all over Portugal in towns of pretty much any size, not villages, but towns, are the central hub for shopping for the residents. Everything can be found there pretty much, and they're highly organized, well marked, and a lot of fun. And while it's true the supermarkets are fun, this is even more fun. The weekly market at Famalicão. Famalicão actually has one of the larger ones that I have seen. There is one, Barcelos is hugely famous from Middle Ages. It's been going on, the same market. And it is even larger than this one, what you're going to see here. But they are all over the country, and locals count on coming here for their for produce and clothing and whatever their needs are. So I'll let you take a look around, and maybe you'll find something that you're interested in. How about a Spider-Man outfit?
Can you guys believe it?
my euros
There we go.
found the dress of my dreams yet.
Oh my!
So the day of the week differs in the different cities and villages for their local market like this. This happens to be Wednesday. About 30 minutes away, you can find in Barcelos, it's agreed that it's the largest market of this type in the country. It's been going on forever. And so if you don't find what you want here on a Wednesday, you can just drive a half hour and find something the following day. Many of these items, the linens, like cottons especially, and pottery, are made locally, sourced here in Portugal, and sometimes right here by people who live in Famalicão. If you get hungry, there's always plenty on stock. A lot of homemade olive oil, homegrown, and jewelry. And even if you're into winemaking, there's an alambique, and we actually made eau de vie with that one time. Not that one, but another. You may luck out like I did. The city library has recently been remodeled, and it's a beauty. This is the children's area, so bright and light and airy. There are also designated workspaces that people come, meet, and socialize, and I suppose do a little study and research at the same time. They've really spent a lot of money and a lot of time and effort on creating art everywhere in this city, and this is a perfect example of this woodwork. It's three-dimensional on the wall here. Speaking of books, as part of the country's cultural tourism program, Portugal has various rotas dos escritores, or writers' routes, you can follow and tour the homes of famous authors. A popular one in Famalicão is Casa Museu de Camilo, where a prolific 19th century writer, Camilo Castelo Branco, lived. It was nice to see the plaque outside was printed in English as well as Portuguese. We walked along the pathway where the Ramada is, the house there, and by the way, it's a very typical Portuguese color, this kind of ochre color. You'll find this on houses in the countryside everywhere. If you want to see the inside, you'll have to come here and visit someday. So Vila Nova de Famalicão may be a place for you if you want to feel surrounded by arts and culture. This is the local professional art school. It's right in town, near the library and that Rua Gourmet restaurant. They've kind of brought their art and put it right out on the street for the locals to enjoy. And that is Famalicão in a nutshell. Culture, industry, past, present, into the future. Definitely a hidden place to consider.